Does your wife want a divorce and you do not? Today's video, I'm going to tell you about a client of mine that turned his relationship around. So stay tuned. My heart goes out to you, brother. If you're in this position, I can relate to how frustrating and emotionally charged it is when we're trying to keep the family together. We're trying to save the marriage. We don't want to lose our wife. We want to keep everything together that we've been pouring ourselves into for so many years. And yet the other person is not getting on board. It's easy to get caught up in those YouTube videos of whose attachment style is what and what's your love language and all that complicated relationship stuff. That's just adding pressure to an already pressurized situation. Although this time does feel very frantic, I need you to listen to this important bit of advice. This is a time to slow down. There's no urgency. Thinking that you need to do something desperately before tonight or else you'll lose your marriage is the exact energy that will make you lose your marriage. Notice when paramedics show up to an accident. Do they come running out of the ambulance and just like a chicken with their head cut off, start just screaming and yelling and freaking out? That obviously is not what the critical situation needs. A critical situation needs first responders, paramedics, firemen, people showing up with calm, deliberate intention that are sticking to a process, that are staying focused on what they're there to do, and not getting emotionally involved in what's happening. This is what you're dealing with in the relationship. Our vibe of urgency and needing this relationship to be different is the exact thing that prevents it from getting better. So, as counterintuitive as it sounds, this is not a time to be working on the relationship. This is a time to be working on your triggers, working on your pain, working on your frustration, and learning what it means to be a mature man when life hands you lemons. A very common dynamic in our modern times is a reversal of roles, a reversal of polarity, a position where the wife has become her own man in the relationship. And we wonder why the erotic and the attraction and the affection and the love isn't happening anymore. To get a woman out of her masculine and back into her feminine is not something you can force, but you can certainly create the environment that tends to allow that to happen. A man who stays in his masculine frame, that's what you need to focus on becoming right now. Women don't become their own men because they were born that way. They become that way because it's a self-protection mechanism. Imagine masculine is like a knight at the door of the castle, and the queen is inside. If the knight is strong and safe, steady, predictable, and secure, she can relax in her palace. She can kick her shoes off. She can take a breath. She can enjoy being in her feelings and in her heart and in her creativity. But if that knight becomes dangerous himself by reacting to her emotions or trying to change her opinions, or he comes in there and starts punching a hole in the drywall, she's going to go back into her masculine as a safety mechanism. The knight at the door has also abandoned his masculine pole. If he comes in, sulks in the shadows, is afraid to address things that are happening, and tries to displease and make the queen happy, that also feels dangerous to her. Anything could come in the door and get to her because he's not at his post. My client, we'll call him Paul. His wife had become her own man. She was angular and decisive. She was making all the choices of where the finances should go and what the weekend should look like. And she was calling the shots around the house. And Paul thought this was pretty nice. He could kind of kick back, just kind of let her take the wheel for a while. And like we always see in relationships, she enjoyed that for a time, and then she didn't enjoy it so much. She needed somebody with spine, somebody to tell her, no, that's a bad idea. We're not going to go there. That makes her feel safe when she knows you've got her best interest at heart and are really ready to take a stand for what you believe in with a kind, generous, curious energy, a safe, fatherly type vibe. Well, Paul was devastated. He wanted to save his marriage so badly, and she was done. She was like, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I want out. And he tried his best to try to be a better husband for like a year or two, actually. And she wasn't buying it. And it even came out that over that time, she was actually having an emotional affair. So you would think that this relationship, there's no way it could come back from this point. But Paul really did love his wife. He didn't want to lose his family. He didn't want to lose everything they had invested together in. And so by working with me over the course of many months, we focused on helping him become more masculine, be more decisive, stop being wishy-washy and conflict avoidant, learn how to set boundaries, learn how to have purpose and mission, and learn how to be held within a frame that can't be shook as far as your feelings and reactions go. The hardest test to his frame happened when she decided, I'm getting a divorce. They even started packing up their stuff. At this point, because of the work we had done, he understood that if he loved her, he did need to let her go, that fighting for the marriage doesn't save the marriage, but being the best man you can be is the most attractive thing you can do. He focused on his self-care. He focused on surrounding himself with men he looked up to. He focused on getting clear on what his next chapter would look like if she didn't join. This release of pressure is what saved his marriage. Suddenly his wife didn't feel like she had to be married to him. She didn't feel like that she was being forced into something against her will. She reckoned that she could go if she wanted and he would be okay. That bore testimony to the amount of growth Paul had done. She found this new strong version of him very attractive, and she decided that maybe divorce wasn't what she wanted after all. To this day, they're still together. Intimacy came back. Their marriage had been sexless for a long time, and she's the one that initiated it to bring it back in when he started showing up as the man. Brother, you can have a similar story too. Focus on your personal development. Focus on being more calm and relaxed and courageous and brave yourself. Simply be a man that women are drawn towards because he's in his masculine frame. I would love to have a conversation with you where I could help you get clear on your next steps to take to be this kind of guy. Go to my website at garrettprettymancoaching.com, fill out my Get Grounded Now form, and let's have a conversation. Take care, brother.